So meet the speakers. Today, two of our team members are gonna present you the agenda. So technical part will be responsible Logi Barnabas, a product support specialist from MWT Solutions Baltic branch. And of course, me, Edgar Sosno, a business development specialist from MWT Solutions Baltic branch. Let's talk about who we are and why we are worth of your attention. So MWT Solutions is a ManageEngine's exclusive added value distributor, and we're operating in Central Europe and Eastern Europe since 2008. At this moment, we have more than 15 years of practice in European markets. We have more than 1,600 satisfied customers and more than 300 delivered projects. So if you consider why we should choose ManageEngine, what are our values that we deliver to you as a customers, I would tell that we have four main added values that are delivered to you as a customer. Let's speak about those. So first of them is consulting and audit, which means we provide IT environment assessments, IT service management processes modeling and aligning with your company's vision, and Active Directory hardening. If we speak about implementations, you may ask, what are those? So those are end-to-end deployments of IT service management, IT security, IT monitoring, and of course, unified endpoint management. Then we slowly transit to trainings, one of the main added value that we deliver to you as a customer. That means we do not only sell product, but we also guide you during the whole product implementation period. We create product workshops. We have delivered online courses and Knowledge Plus learning platform. And also, last but not the least, which is mostly important to you, my fellow technicians and IT specialists, is a technical support. That means ongoing maintenance, dedicated specialists, and of course, rapid response to any of your unique situations that have occurred. So let's talk about our presence. Where do we actually operate in, and at what markets can you find us? So as a company, MWT Solutions has started in Poland, in small industrial city of Poznań in 2007. During that time, during these 15 years, MWT Solutions has successfully expanded its branches to Czech Republic, to Hungary, and Slovakia. And our most recent branch has opened and is successfully operating for 2.5 years in Lithuania, in the heart of Lithuania, in Vilnius. Lithuanian branch is dedicated for all of the Baltic states, which are Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia. So let's talk about our products matrix. What do they deliver and what do we cover? Our 44 products are split into 5 main product categories, which are Active Directory, Unified Endpoint Management, IT Service Management, IT Security, and IT Monitoring. Each of these product segments are dedicated to cover your company's unique IT infrastructure, task, and vision. As for example, Active Directory group products is dedicated for your IT specialists and engineers to secure whatever that is happening in IT environment. Unified Endpoint Management Group is dedicated to control, give visibility, and understanding of how your company's inventory is being used by the endpoint, by end user. Of course, IT monitoring gives you a deep understanding of what is happening inside organization's IT environment. IT service management, a group of products which is dedicated for your IT engineers or IT specialists to control every workflow that happens inside the organization or company. As for example, each of you knows that company has most usually a ticketing system. So whatever happens from the smallest process like onboarding a new person. So how do you give the visibility to this process? Here comes in hand a ServiceDesk Plus, which gives your specialist, IT specialist, a full understanding and unified control of these processes under one panel. And of course, IT security, the product group dedicated to harden and secure your organization's IT side. To have every tool that, for example, collects logs like Log360 or PAM360, which is a privileged access management tool, or Key Manager Plus that gives your company a full, reliable password rotation all across the different branches in your company's structure. And let's talk about agenda, what we are going to speak today about. Today we're gonna cover 5 main topics, and at the end, as I mentioned before, our favorite Q&A session when we answer your questions. When we will review your setup and speak about your challenges. So let's start with the first one, business challenges. Why manual IT operations fail at scale? Solutions architecture, the implementation of ServiceDesk Plus, ADManager, and Endpoint Central. Employee onboarding automation, from request to provisioned workspace. Then my fellow colleague Elijah gonna present you a live demo. Offboarding and security. It means zero orphaned or lost or forgotten accounts, immediate device wipe, and secured IT environment. And also IT asset management, which means real-time visibility and rapid incident resolution. So what are the main business challenges that you as representatives of organizations and companies might face? So manual onboarding and offboarding, which means a slow error-prone processes that frustrate employees on day one. Fragmented asset information, inventory scattered across disconnected systems and spreadsheets. Multiple consoles to manage, IT teams overwhelmed juggling separate tools without integrations. So user provisioning, which means delayed access, leads to employee frustration and lost productivity. And lack of endpoint visibility. That means security risks, which grow exponentially with device status, which is unknown or outdated. And right now, we're going to do a quick technical pause and come back to you after a few minutes to deep dive in each of these topics. Stay with us.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining this webinar. I want to say it's been a wonderful time having you part of the NWT journey and why we prepare webinars and train technicians and administrators on how to utilize the product. So today we will jump into ServiceDesk and the power of ServiceDesk. So when we talk about ServiceDesk, we're basically talking about the integration possibility to integrate your unified endpoints with your ITSM solution, even with your AD solution, which is Active Directory solution. So let's talk about the modern architecture. So basically, with an ITSM solution, I will just give an easy example. With an ITSM solution, when the HR or when the requester requests for a new onboarding of a user, the technician will actually switch between applications and try to prepare create the Active Directory for the user, give permission, prepare the asset, and install all necessary application that's required for this user. And that could be too much work for the employee or for the technician. And that could also lead to errors. That could lead to security breach, as the technician might fail sometimes to ensure some permission not assigned, or role-based permissions are properly in place. So this is where ServiceDesk comes in. With ServiceDesk Plus, you have the possibility to integrate the AD solution tools and the unified endpoint solution tools, meaning that you have one way of entering, and with that one way of entering, you can do multiple functionalities like automatically onboarding new users, automation of managing of users, asset assigning, permission granting to end users, and so on. So what do you get with a unified integration of ServiceDesk with ADManager Plus, which is the Active Directory, and Endpoint Central, which is an asset management device solution? We call it Unified Endpoint Management. You get complete visibility into your IT infrastructure. You have it improved productivity more than 70%. It reduces the possibilities of error and vulnerabilities in your environment. So now let's talk about the integration. So basically, like I made an example, when a technician gets a request of onboarding without using the right solution, the technician goes to the AD as Active Directory to create that user, grant permission access, provide the department, and so on for that user, and then comes back to a unified endpoint like Endpoint Central to prepare the asset for that user. Then, before going back to ServiceDesk or the ITSM solution to close that ticket and put every information in the notes. So these process are quite challenging and time consuming for technicians. In an organization, in a large organization, it might not also be just onboarding, but it might be other type of requests, and this can cause low performance of technicians. This can result to security breach. As the pressure increase, the technician might be unable to meet up with the demand of the organization, and so on. And this can also cause the organization of onboarding new technicians. But with an automation system where you have the ServiceDesk, the ADManager Plus, and the Endpoint Central together, that reduce error 70%, and that improve your productivity more than 70%. So what do we get here? So let's take an example. An employee request for a new employee was was made by the HRO department. That request goes to the manager of that department for approval. The manager approved that request, and that request automatically goes to the technician for implementation to add this new employee to the organization Active Directory. And with our solutions, all these are done seamlessly, meaning that this reduces the workload of the technician. So the technician can also just automatically execute that request in ServiceDesk, regardless of the ADManager or the Endpoint Center. The technician can perform that request and those actions that are required for AD and Endpoint Center in ServiceDesk once you have the right integration. And once this integration is done, and once the AD, the user has been added to the AD, to the Active Directory, and the endpoint has been prepared for this user, it automatically triggers for the closure of the request. And we're going to see this in the demo environment. So let's talk about the onboarding case, and we'll give an example. Let's take John Smith. John Smith, the request is made by John Smith to request a new onboarding case or a new employee. And what they want is that first the technician has to provide a laptop and the Microsoft Office for that new employee, then a VPN access, and then finance. The financial group has to create information for payment, salary, and so bonuses and so on. And then you want to give access to the M365, either through the email and so on. You want to give access to these new users. How can we do this without gallivanting from one application to another, which can cause multiple errors in the organization? We can do this with the integration of ServiceDesk, ADManager, and Endpoint Center. So basically, ServiceDesk automates the creation of the user, the group, the OU placement, exchange, and provisioning, including the permission of that user in the various in the Active Directory, and also giving that user access to specific resources. We're going to also talk about this when we jump into the live demo section. And then we talk about also once this user is created in ServiceDesk, the technician does not need to go to ADManager. He can do that once the integration is done. He can do everything in ServiceDesk. And then also now we go to the next part where this user needs a laptop. It needs MS Office. It needs a VPN deployed and all security policy. And the requirement is to be applied before 1 day. So meaning that the technician has to meet this requirement, has to resolve this ticket in 1 day. If not, there will be an SLA violation. So the technician can do this in ServiceDesk. Also, once the endpoint central integration is automatically integrated to ServiceDesk. So basically, you can do both functionalities, including the functionalities of ITSM solution, which we are talking about, ServiceDesk, all in one solution, which is ServiceDesk. And then you can automate this process. You can automate the user creation, email provisioning, laptop, and this will reduce the workload of the technicians. And this will improve the organization productivity more than 70%. Now, so let's talk about what you can get with the integration of ADManager and ServiceDesk. So what you can get is you can have the possibility of automating user creation, automating group management, also OU placement, exchange provisioning. As well, we have zero touch password reset. This would assist your end users to be able to reset their password, and it reduce the workload on the technician. Or this can also give the technician the possibility to reset not just the user password, but entity. So when I say entity, I said I'm talking about endpoints and other devices. The possibility for the technician to reset the password, to rotate the password, and so on. And we will talk about this when we jump into the live demo. And then we can see instant unlocking of accounts, secure user offboarding. And one of the problems the organization face mainly is when an employee is leaving the company, some of the permissions are not restricted for that employee, meaning that that employee can still have access to some of the organization resources. It could be because of the workload of the technician, and the technician actually forgets to manually remove those permissions, or it could be the organization does not have the right tools for that. But with the integration of ADManager and ServiceDesk, the moment you are offboarding this user, all permission will automatically be restricted from this user. And this user will be, you can also delete this user out of your Active Directory or disable this the functionality of this user. Just a moment, we will jump into the live demo, and we'll talk about what you can get with the product. Okay, thank you very much for your patience. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to touch up the live demo, and also let's touch each of these solutions before we jump into the main topic for today. So when we talk about unified endpoint management, we are talking about a solution that can manage your entire endpoint in your environment, be it patch and threats, be it software deployment, MDM, which is mobile device manager, browser security, application security, OS deployment, endpoint data loss prevention, and BitLocker management, device control, DEX, and so on and so forth. So unified endpoint gives you the complete visibility to manage your entire endpoint in your organization, regardless of the platform. So it could be Windows, Linux, or Mac. Also, unified endpoint support various platforms. And then we can talk about the ADManager Plus. So when we talk about ADManager Plus, we are basically talking about a solution that helps you to manage your Active Directory. We all know that for technicians to be able to do some certain functionality in the Active Directory, it is quite challenging. You need the technician with the appropriate knowledge to make changes to the Active Directory. If not, that user might actually break down, or that technician might actually break down the system and stop the production environment from functioning. This is where ADManager Plus comes in. ADManager Plus, we can create new users, we can manage users, we can delete users, we can delegate the job for the users. We also have our workflow where we can receive requests, review, approve, and execute it automatically. We have our automation as well, and possibility to also integrate the solution to multiple solutions that organization use day to day. So ADManager Plus is a powerful solution that help organization to simplify their environment and their Active Directory. This will be a topic for another day, because we are focusing on the integration. So another day when we have a webinar, we're happy to dive deep into ADManager and show you how rich and how well developed this product is. But before I go, I can just show you an example. So we can create a user. And we can just give the user Mark. Last name 1. And just create an account for this user. I will just create without adding much information. As you can see, we've created the new user, and if we go to our Active Directory, then we go look for the user. Some time. We'll be able to see the user here. So we have in real time, Mark 1 has already been created in our Active Directory. So this gives more flexibility to create users, to create group of users, to manage all users, the GPOs, domain controllers, all this Active Directory functionality in ADManager. So as you can see, we already have this user in real time. Once you create, it automatically create to the Active Directory. So, but the issue where we are coming from is when a ticket is raised to create a new user, to onboard a new user or multiple user, doing this, moving from one system to another system can be challenging. So this is where we have the service desk. When you integrate the solution together, service desk gives you that full visibility into your environment. It gives you the possibility to create, unlock user, to enable user, to disable user, and so on and so forth, and give you the possibility to create new user in the Active Directory. So meaning that I do not actually need to move to the ADManager to create or go to Active Directory to create this user. When I integrate them together, I can do that functionality right inside the service desk where the request was made. We will make a request and we'll be able to see that. As well, I can provide permissions, set permission folder, remove permission, and so on. So let's take an example. Let's say, before we take an example, I'll also talk about ServiceDesk. ServiceDesk is an ITSM solution that provides you full visibility into ITSM requests, service requests, incident requests, and as the case may be, and so on and so forth. And what you can get with ServiceDesk, you can get request management, problem management, change management, project management, release management, solution, which is a knowledge database, maintenance, and assets. So you can manage all your assets in ServiceDesk. So you can manage all your assets, be it regardless of different type of asset, regardless of the type of asset. You can manage servers. You can manage IT asset, access point, computer, server, firewall. All these you can manage. And not only IT assets, you can also manage non-IT assets. So we say IT asset are asset that has an IP address, and a non-IT asset are asset that does not have an IP address. Those non-IT assets like chair, table, spoon in your organization, if your organization is deep into accountability, you'll be able to monitor the full visibility of the entire organization infrastructure. And then we talk about the CMDB, where you have the complete visibility of the relationship of the entire organization infrastructure. What user is using this computer, what firewall is where, what access points or what computers are connected to certain access point. All this visibility are available in ServiceDesk. But because of our time, we would try to be fast and try to meet up with the time. So first of all, let's go to apologies. Let's go to our templates. So let's say a request for technicians to onboard a new user is made. How do we make this request? I already made a request, but you can make the request by creating the template for onboarding. So in this case, we have the request to hire a new request to start a process for associating a new employee. Here we can customize the request to suit our organization needs. We can drag and drop what we want in the template, and as well, if we do not have that field I've already created, we can also create that field. From the pick list to the numbers or the decimal point, we can create that list to suit our organization needs and requirements. And then we can jump into workflows. And then we can jump into workflow where we can configure our approvers. So we can choose who we want, to be able to approve this request. Should it be approved by the head of department? Should it be approved by the manager or by the CEO, as the case may be? So when this request is made, it will be sent for the proper approval. So here we can create multiple approvers. Here we can choose if we would like every user, every person responsible for approval to approve before that request can be implemented, or we just need at least maybe the first approval. So in this case, I will take the first approval. Here we can create multiple users. So I can create level 1 users as a manager. I can create level 2. I can say, okay, maybe I want the head of the department to approve this also. I can create another level. Let's say level 3. I want maybe the CEO to approve, and so on. I can choose multiple users to approve this request. And this request approval will be sent to all these users to approve this request. But for visibility, I will choose only level 1 for the general manager to approve this request. And here I can also create my checklist of what I would like, what should be done. So if you have a checklist, if you don't have, you can create your checklist. Say, let's say, get the computer from the store, check. Install Windows, check. Install VPN, check. All these functionality, we can as well do them. And also we can associate tasks. So let's say setting up the computer, setting up email, network, setting up location, and so on and so forth. We can choose all these tasks that the technician will be able to see and resolve these issues. So it gives us complete visibility into the organization infrastructures. But for this, because of time, we'll just dive into creating a request. So I will not save this. We'll just create an easy request, and we'll see how we can actually take advantage of the integration of ServiceDesk and the ADManager Plus and the Endpoint Central. So I would choose a new request. And let's say a request for hiring a new user. Requester name, let's say it's from the admin. And automatically, if that admin is assigned to an endpoint, that endpoint, you can also find that information here. And we want to give this new employee's name should be, let's say, Mantas. And we want to also provide location, or we just put any information, say location is Venus. We can add more information, phone numbers, as the case may be. Department, let's just say the IT department, and the job title, admin. So we can basically create the request. So let's say this request is coming from the HR department that we want to onboard this new user, and the requester can also choose. So what are we giving to this? What do we want the IT department to prepare? So let's say we are providing a Dell laptop, a mouse, a speaker, and keyboard. And then we can also choose. Since once we do this integration, we have more functionality, more way to provide deep support, where the technician will be able to do every functionality just in ServiceDesk without gallivanting to multiple applications. So let's say we would like to install Google Chrome and email for this user. And also we want to give access to certain applications. So we want to give them access to Active Directory, or in case, let's say we want to give them to access to CRM, Active Directory. We want to also give them access to the VPN, as in our example, as stated. So we want to provide these functionalities, and maybe we want to also give them a phone. So we can go on and provide all this, and we can send this request. So now you see that this request has been sent and it's waiting for the manager approval. So the manager needs to approve this request for this request to be able to, for the technician to be able to start implementation. And the technician can see the information that needs to be done. It needs to get a Dell laptop from the store. It needs to, the application that needs to be installed, the account that needs to be created, communication device, the iPhone, and so on. Now, since this technician sent this request, now let's jump into the general manager's account where he can see this request. This is the technician account, and this is the general manager account. And here you can see that already a notification is coming and telling the general manager that you have a request. Also, the general manager will also receive an email. So you can see pending request. And the general manager can choose to approve this request or deny it. And he can choose by adding the information why he's approving. Let's say interview passed, and you can approve this request. Or if you need more clarification, you can click on clarification, and this request will go back to the requester to provide more clarification. But in this case, because of our time, let's approve the request. And if we go to our request dashboard, we can see the request as being provided. We can automatically assign this request when we create this request. We can assign it to a specific group of technician, automatically assign it to a technician, or we can leave it and allow it on sign, then allow technician to pick the request as required. So in this case, I'll leave it. I left it the way like this, and I'll allow technicians to pick this request. And in this case, I will use the Kaishaw. Now this user have this request is assigned to Kaishaw. You can see the proposed asset that needs to be implemented. And this technician can also, if not using this asset, he can just go to the asset model and go to, as you can see, I only have 3 assets here, and 2 of them are installed. So basically, the technician can take out this asset and assign it to the new user. But we will get there. First of all, let's take care of the request. So the requests have been created, and we have to create this user in Active Directory. So for us to be able to create this user in Active Directory, we can also do it 2 ways. We can go to ADManager Plus that is already integrated in ServiceDesk, or we can click on our custom function. And if you can see, we have a associate profile, distribute application, device, you can see device, the provisioning, asset management, and so on and so forth. But when you go down, you can see create a new user in Active Directory, add a new group, locate device. So we want to create a new user based on our example. So if I remember the name correctly, the name is Mantas. I don't remember the surname we took, but let's take an example. Let's also give it Mantas com, just a name. And then we can, because of time, no need to fill out the information with contact, exchange, mailbox, terminal, and so on. Let's just create the password. And as you can see, we have all our different policies that we can apply. The user must change password when logging. User must store password. We can create all our policy. Or if you choose that the password never expires, or the password expires in every 3 months. All these we can do that. We can set everything right from ServiceDesk, and it will be applied directly to the Active Directory. So in this case, because of time, I would go on to create this user. And here we can choose our onboarding template or our user creation template, different template that we created to make the job easier for the technician. The technician can create more template as they like. So in this case, I will go with this template and just create this user. So as you can see, we have Mantas.com as a username. So if we go to the Active Directory right now, you can see that the new user in real time has automatically been created as Mantas.com new user. We did not add much information. We just created this user. So we can do much more functionality with this user. We can also offboard this user. We can disable this user. We can delete this user, close all permission, and so on. So let's say you can see the node system create the node that a new user have been created. So if we refresh this, you can see this the nodes, user creation, use milestone, and successfully creating a user. So this note is being sent and showing that this user has been created. Another good features when you integrate your solution, let's say the technician don't really understand this information and wants to get quick clarification, he can automatically communicate with the requester. So if I go here and click on this, I can start chatting chatting with the requester. So I can chat, I can say, please, I don't fully understand your request. Can you clarify? For example, and I can chat with this user in real time. And if I go to the requester page, refresh this. If I go to the requester page, I can see I have an active new chat. So when I click on it, I can see the request that came in, the chat from Kaishaw saying, please, I do not fully understand the request. Can you clarify? And I can go on to say, okay, we want to onboard this user to the IT department. So once I send my this, this user will also receive that communication. You can see when I go back to the Sharp Kaishaw account, you can see the communication, but we want to onboard this user, and this gives you more functionality. And what else can we do with when we integrate? Not just onboarding, not just offboarding. Like I said, with the AD manager, we can unlock account, we can enable account, we can disable account. So let's say we would like to disable an account. Let's say we want to disable a certain account as this user is away from maternity leave. Mostly some technician will forget to do this, but let's take an example. Say this user is going and we want to disable this account till this user comes back. So we can disable the account. For example, we search for the user. And here we have the user. So we can click on disable. And if we have the right permission, automatically this user account has now been updated and is now disabled. So this user will not be able to log in into the Active Directory or or do any functionality. We can delete account, deprovision users, we can reset password, we can modify department, modify manager, remove groups, modify groups, expired account, and so on. We can also give permission, file permission, we remove permission from users and so on. But our task is not finished. Now, based on the example that was given on the slide, we have to prepare and install application on the laptop that will be given to this user as it's stated here, the laptop and all this VPN access. So what we can do when we click on custom action, we can create a profile. We can distribute the application, meaning we distribute the application directly from the service desk, and we would be able to distribute this application. But at the moment, we cannot connect to the to the mobile device manager. But we can do that. We can also install and uninstall application. So we can choose the application. If we have the application name or the user, we put the username that we want to apply these to, and then we can assign that to the user. We can install the application, and that application will be installed directly to the user computer, the new computer that is required for that user. If you have questions, you can leave them in the chat. At the end of my presentation, I will jump to this chat to answer those questions. And also what we can do as well, we can assign this user to the group. We can also run a custom script, like custom script to check users' activities in work, user idle, when the user is not working, when the computer is idle, doing login and doing logout. We can also do all this functionality. we can resolve template. You can also do a remote control if this is a different request. Maybe a user cannot, an application is crashing and they cannot use that application to work. We can do a remote control to resolve that issue and so on. And even more, we can do more functionality to help the organization improve their productivities. So once we've installed these applications into the device, as I showed, then we can go on to finalize this and hand over this computer to the end users. So ServiceDesk gives us the complete visibility once we create that integration between ServiceDesk, Endpoint Central, and ADManager. Because of our time is fast spent, and will not be able to show you more functionalities because of the time. We have to respect the time. But I would like to say, what more can you get with ServiceDesk? In the case of the technician have an issue resolving any of this, he can automatically create this ticket to a change management. Maybe we want to change the laptop for this user, or maybe we want to buy a new laptop, or if it's something that requires the laptop to be purchased in the first case, if this request is created, then the technician can just automatically click on new, and automatically everything will be populated. So you can see there's no need for the technician to start adding everything again. You can see everything automatically for the purchase has been automatically populated, and then you can see the total cost will be calculated. This gives a room and makes it easy for the technician to be able to create this purchase, and the financial department will get this request and purchase this laptop, and for the technician to prepare this laptop for the onboarding in case the technician or the organization does not have this in store. And you'll be able to monitor the purchase of this asset from purchase to when the technician receives it. So we call it the complete life cycle of the purchase. The same with the service request. You can monitor the life cycle of the service request. You can see the history of the communication and all the changes that was made and the ticket. But because of time, we'll not be able to go further. But here you have the possibility to see the details, the resolution, the tasks that are assigned to this project. As you can see, the tasks that we selected during the beginning when I start showing you the template, and also the checklist that has to be done, the work log where the technician can actually put how much work he or she put into this. So let's say the technician actually puts, let's say, let's change this to PM. So let's say the technician actually put in 8 hours of work into this. Also, we can also include non-operational hour or not. And then we can, if our organization is calculating the cost of work of the technician, we can have that. The technician can choose the work log type if it's available, and then can add the description. You can also use this as a first response, and then he can save the workload. So this gives complete visibility. The manager will be able to see how many hours take this user to resolve this ticket. And at the end of resolving the entire ticket, the technician can go ahead and close the ticket and say resolved. And that ticket will be resolved. So you can see the full visibility and how ServiceDesk integration with Endpoint Central and AD Manager can actually make the life of the technician easy and improve productivity in your environment more than 70%. There are a lot of functionalities that are available that you can take advantage of. You can take advantage of these functionalities and this integration with ServiceDesk to make good in your organization and improve your organization posture. But because of time, we will not be able to jump more into details. If you would need more information regarding the integration with ServiceDesk, you can give us a call or you can contact us. We'll be happy to provide you full technical support. So while we jump back to our presentation, while we round up, also we'll talk about the offboarding. So basically how you can disable user, reset user, remove all user from the group membership, how you can restrict user or revoke their license. All these are possible with AD Manager. When you integrate with ServiceDesk, then ServiceDesk will be able to do all this all from the console without gallivanting or moving from one application to another. And as well, we'll talk about what you can get with Endpoint Center. These are just few of them. Immediately device lock, device wipe in case of lost device, remove corporate application, locker keys, and so many other functionality that you can utilize with ServiceDesk. So the basic thing is integrating them gives you deep asset availability, software deployment, remote control, management vulnerability, and so many other functionalities. And examples are there's so many examples that you can utilize this from, like when a technician doesn't use a solution that would improve the productivity, they can take hours in preparing this job or resolving an issue. But when they have the right tools and it's well integrated together, this job can take even less than 5 minutes or 10 minutes to resolve this job, the job. So it gives you more flexibility into your organization infrastructure. And then you'll be able to see the complete visibility of your investment returns, meaning that provisioning that normally takes 3 to 4 hours for a technician when it's automated, it can only take 15 minutes or even lesser. And when you have complex platform, then this can even cause more possibility for an error or a possibility for vulnerabilities. So this is where you have multiple console and scripts, technicians sometimes unable to keep up with managing those multiple console. But with ServiceDesk and the integration, you can automate it in a single workflow. And this would help your organization to move from low productivity to very high productivity. And then also software deployment. So when you talk about software installing, you manually install this, and this can be very, very challenging to your organization. But with the right tools, you can automatically deploy patch, deploy installation. So the moment you want to install, you can deploy this software to multiple endpoints at the same time. And if it's patch, you can also patch this automatically to endpoint. At the moment the patch is released, if you configure the patch deployment to automatically deploy, or you would like to do the test and approve, all these are possible with the product. And then we have the inventory data, where you have technicians, as in 2026, technicians are still using spreadsheet. But with the right tools, Endpoint Central, ServiceDesk, and AD Manager, you can automate this and you can get it in real-time synchronization. So because of our time, I've taken too much of your time. I want to thank you very much. If you have questions, please drop them in the chat. I'll be happy to jump into the chat and answer your question. And if you would like to see more functionalities, please contact us, contact my colleagues, and we'll schedule a meeting to show you how deep and how rich the integration is and how you can utilize this to improve your organization. If you have questions, please go to the chat and add your questions. I will give 5 minutes for questions, and I will come back and close the meeting. Thank you very much for your time.